Hello, this week we are going to talk about verbs that become adjectives. So verbs that become adjectives. Some verbs, like the verb to worry, can also be used as an adjective, worried. So for example, if we're using the word as a verb, we can say, you don't need to worry about him. If we're using it as an adjective, we could say, I'm worried about the math exam. And there's a simple test you can use to determine if the word is a verb or an adjective, and that is the very test. If it's being used as an adjective, you can put the word very before the word worry. So this sentence makes sense. I'm very worried about the math exam. But if you try to put it before the word worry when it's being used as a verb, it doesn't make sense. You don't need to very worry about him. These verbs that become adjectives, they end in ed, and they express feelings or opinions. So for example, the verb to convince becomes convinced, and you can see it ends in ed. To bore becomes bored, there's the ed. And to comfort becomes comforted. There's the ed. So now we're going to talk about how you pronounce these words. So these adjectives that end in ed make three sounds. So the ed sound, the ed can sound like a t, a d, or it can sound like id. So we're going to go over a few examples of each. Remember, you can always pause the video if I'm going too fast. So we'll start over here. So these are adjectives that end in ed but make the t sound. Convinced. Can you hear how I pronounce the ed like a t? Convinced. Shocked. Relaxed. Embarrassed. 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 Astonished. 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 The next group make the D sound. Bored. Surprised. Notice that I don't really pronounce the R here. I say surprised, but you don't really hear the R there. Amazed. Determined. 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 Relieved. And the last group here make the id sound. Excited. Do you hear how I say id? Disgusted. Disgusted. Comforted. Comforted. Frustrated. Frustrated. Exhausted. 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 Again, go back and pronounce each of those words. Repeat them many times until you feel comfortable saying them. Okay, now we're going to put it into practice. So I'm going to have a sentence and then 2 or 3 responses to that sentence. So for example, you didn't sleep last night. You could say, I'm tired, or you could say, I'm exhausted. Exhausted usually means really or very tired. So you want to use exhausted when you are a little bit more than tired. You have an exam today. You could say, I'm worried, or you could say, I'm concerned. You are chased by a lion. There are 3 possible responses. You could say, I'm scared. You could say, I'm terrified, terrified, terrified. Or you could say, I'm frightened. This is a lot of letters, but it's only 2 syllables. Frightened, frightened. Usually terrified means really or very scared. So when you're more than scared, you can say you're terrified. Here's a few more. You are watching a good movie. You could say, I'm interested. Notice how I pronounce this word. It almost sounds like I'm saying T followed immediately by an R. I'm interested. You could also say, I'm captivated, captivated, captivated. Captivated means you're interested, but it also means you're so interested you can't look away. That you don't want to watch anything else because you're so interested in the movie. You don't want to watch anything else. So when you're more than interested, you can be captivated. You want a computer. Here are 3 examples. You could say, I'm surprised. And remember, we don't really pronounce the R, it's surprised. I'm amazed. Or you could say, I'm shocked. This one ends in a T sound, shocked. Your favorite team won. You could say, I'm pleased. Or you could say, I'm satisfied, satisfied, satisfied. Okay, I have 2 more examples. You can't find your homework. You could say, I'm annoyed, annoyed. Or you could say, I'm irritated, irritated, irritated. You don't understand a word. You could say, I'm confused, confused. Or you could say, I'm puzzled, puzzled. Okay, I thought we would try something different this week because we weren't able to meet face to face for a couple of weeks. So I'm wondering if you could, for the next few examples, record your answers and then send them to me. So I found 2 voice recording tools. They're both free and you don't have to sign up for anything. So you don't have to use both of them, you just pick one, but I put 2 in case one doesn't work for you. So I'm going to show them to you now. So the first one is called Vocaroo, and this is what it looks like. And all you do is you click to record your voice, and then afterwards it gives you a link or an address, and you can send me that link or address so I can listen to your recording. If that doesn't work, you can also try SpeakPipe. SpeakPipe works the same way. You click Start Recording, and it will record your voice. You can also play it back and listen to your voice, and then you can send me the link, and then I can listen to your voice. So try one or the other. Doesn't matter to me whichever one works for you. If neither works, if they both don't work, I can try and find another option. So here are the sentences I would like you to record. So on this slide, I have some sentences that need to be finished. So I'm exhausted when. You need to think of a time when you are exhausted or really tired and finish the sentence. I'm bored when. I'm disappointed when. I'm concerned when. I'm satisfied when. I'm irritated when. I'm shocked when. I'm determined when. And when you're saying these words, I'm going to be listening for how you pronounce the ED. So you need to pronounce the end of the word correctly. When you're finished with that, I have a few more sentences for you to practice. Again, they are separated out by sound. So the first two, you have the D sound. So he was determined to win the race. I was relieved to know you were safe. So this time you just need to repeat or say the sentence. The next two make the T sound. They were astonished when they won the game. She felt relaxed reading the book. And the last two make the id sound. We were frustrated by the long delay. The terrible food disgusted us. So that's it. That's this week's lesson. Again, pay close attention to the end of the word and pronouncing it correctly, and see if you can send me your voice recordings so I can listen and see how you did. All right, that's it.